was just trying on my tux to see if it still fit. I didn't wear it since the Police Retirement Association's spring wing formal started.
Get dirty. Come here, let me hold the jacket.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Oh, it don't matter anyway. I probably won't get to go.
Well, why not?
Well, the wedding is out of town. I can't leave these apartments unattended. Landlords are like doctors. I don't care whether it's a baby or a busted water heater. Us doctors and landlords are out there all the time while the rest of the world is still sleeping.
Yes, her here? Yes, he's operating on my sink. Oh, don't you look pretty? Who's getting married?
My niece Flora, my older sister's girl.
The girl is 41.
41? Isn't it nice she finally found somebody?
Oh, she found somebody a long time ago. She and Arnold have been engaged for 20 years.
20 years?
Yeah, well, we see what happened was they went to the church, and he said he'd be right back, and she should wait. That was in 1950.
Did she actually waited?
Oh, yes. She just went right on about her own business. She always said he would come back. And he did, last Thursday.
Well, where was he all this time?
Nobody knows.
Didn't she ask him?
Look, honey, when you're 41 and still unmarried, you don't ask those questions.
That is not nice.
Well, your sink is unstopped, honey. Come on, sweetheart, let's get out of here, will you? My cummerbund is killing me.
Now, wait, you have to go to Mrs. Carter's next. That's what I came to tell you. Her garbage disposer is stuck again.
See, I told you, I ain't gonna get to go to no wedding.
Please. I've been waiting to cry at Flora's wedding for 20 years.
Maybe you could go alone.
I don't want to go without you.
You don't need me to cry at a wedding.
Well, now, wait a minute. Now, you're both going to go. I tell you what, you go, I'll take care of the apartment for a few days.
You?
Well, why not?
Well, supposing something goes wrong. I mean, I can't afford to lay out no dough for a repairman.
Don't worry, I'll handle it. I don't have any more exams. I don't have any commercials coming up.
Well, I don't know, Sandy.
Now, Pat, you take her and go to the wedding and have a good time. I'll take care of everything.
Well, all right. But remember, landlords are like doctors.
Oh, no, landlords are like doctors. If anything goes wrong, I'll put a bandage on it. Thanks, bye. Have a good time. Oh, happy birthday. I think I did something dumb.
If you only had a penny to your name, you'd go and buy her a bright and shiny ribbon for her hair. Just to see her smile, to catch a breeze and gladly fly her a kite and keep it dancing in the air. She's the kind of girl who slayed dragons for gold and hitched up the wagons, for she's the one you bring home to your folks, the family, and let them see the kind of girl she is.
Landlady.
Oh, I'm not busy at all. I'm glad I told Kate and Pat to go. This is a breeze.
Well, shouldn't you be doing your landlady thing? I mean, listening at a door or fluffing up a pipe or something?
Well, there's really nothing to do. Oh, I did put up a for rent sign, number 7's vacant.
Oh, what are these?
What? Oh, the keys. Those are master keys, so I can get into anyone's apartment in case of emergency.
Terrific. I've been dying to meet the guy in number 3.
I said emergency.
Terrific. I've been dying to meet the guy in number 3.
Well, anyway, I'll let you in on a secret. I'm not busy because I haven't actually told anybody I'm the landlady yet.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Why are you sorry?
Well, I didn't know it was supposed to be a big secret, and I was so proud of you I told everybody.
Hello? Oh, yes, Miss Carter. Could you hold on for just 1 minute?
Miss Stockton, I'm having company and my door's supposed to be painted.
Oh, right. Miss Jensen, could you just come in for 1 minute? I'm on the phone to Miss Carter. I'll be right back. Yes. Miss Carter, yes, ma'am. Well, I'm going to fix it just as soon as I can. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Bye-bye. Garbage disposer.
Well, what about my door?
Oh. Well, Miss Jensen, I could probably... excuse me.
Sandy, I really hate myself for this, but as long as you're up, my shower drain is clogged.
Thanks, pal. Hello?
What are you doing?
It's called painting the door.
I only asked because it looks like you're painting your shoe.
Darn. What was that?
My guess is a dog.
Well, Alice, I know it's a dog, but what's it doing here? The rules say no pets.
Maybe no one gave him a copy of the rules.
Alice.
Well, don't take it out on me. I just came up here to tell you there's a lady looking at number 7.
Great.
Oh, it's a lovely color. Oh, it accentuates your eyes.
Alice, would you please just go find a dog, tell him to go home, and don't forget your rent is due.
Give some people a little power and it goes right to their head.
Fido? Rover? Spot? Hey, George, where have you been, George?
George, I should have guessed.
Alice. Bobby, is that your dog?
Yes, Miss Stockton, I found him. Isn't he great? My mom said I couldn't keep him because of the rules, but I said it'd be all right with you.
Well, now, Bobby, I'm not the official manager.
I thought you'd be on my side.
Oh, I am. Well, I mean, I would be if I,
That'll kill you.
He could be a watchdog.
Well, now, that's a thought. Technically, he wouldn't be a pet if he were a watchdog. How's that sound?
That'll kill you.
Can I keep him? Can I?
Bobby, I didn't make up the rule. I mean, Mr. Harwell and the manager, could help me.
Bobby, let me put it to you this way. Who would you rather have living here in the building? Us or him? Never mind.
Oh, there you are, Miss Stockton.
Yes, ma'am.
I have a little present for you.
What is it?
Coffee grounds, eggshells, 2 apple cores.
Sorry, the garbage disposer, I forgot.
You certainly did. I noticed Mrs. Jensen got her door painted. Of course, she lives downstairs where you do. Then what's this beast doing here?
Down, Mrs. Carter. I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry, Mrs. Carter. I meant I'm sorry to you. I'm sorry. Well, Miss Morse, what do you think?
Well, it's certainly very cheerful. Are the utilities included?
Oh, yes, ma'am. But we do have this rule against pets.
Oh, dear.
Oh, dear.
I have a goldfish.
Oh, well, they'll just be our little secret. Try to keep them quiet, though.
I'm going to like you. I think I'll take it.
Oh, good. Now, Miss Morris, you're going to have to sign this rental form for me and make out a check for the first month's rent.
Oh, dear. This is embarrassing. The post office is closed.
The post office?
My Social Security check. They sent it to the post office, and I was going to cash it, but I forgot to pick it up.
Well, when will you get it?
First thing tomorrow morning.
Oh, tomorrow's fine. I mean, I'll just hold this apartment for you until tomorrow.
Well, I guess that'll be fine.
This is my friend Chick Olson from school. He's kind of short.
Miss Morris?
Oh, hello, Miss Stockton.
I didn't know you were still here.
I wanted to ask you a question, and you've been so busy.
I'm sorry, what is it?
Could you tell me how to get to the bus station?
The bus station. Are you going somewhere?
Just to sleep. I've seen it done in the movies 100 times. Well, you find a nice bench, and then you take your coat and roll it up into a ball, and that's your pillow, and then another one, and that's your blanket.
Miss Morris, don't you have any place to sleep tonight?
Well, I have the bus station. I'll see you tomorrow.
Mrs. Morris, I was just thinking, why don't you stay here tonight? I mean, you're getting your check tomorrow.
That's a sweet idea. You're a sweet girl.
Fine, I'm just going to put your suitcase in the bedroom. Miss Morris, this rental form, it's still blank.
It is? Oh, don't tell me I forgot that, too. Oh, this memory.
Well, I tell you what, you have a pen, we'll just fill it out now.
Could we do that tomorrow? I'm a bit weary.
Oh, well, I guess so.
That's a sweet girl.
Fine. Okay. Hi, Bobby. George? 28, 29, 30.
Look what you're doing.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, thank you. Miss Carter, what is it?
You're getting grease on my linoleum. I just waxed it.
I'm very sorry. I can't get this to work. Now, the manual says hold reset button for 30 seconds. Now, I've done that. I have worn out 3 fingers doing that. I can't get it to work. Nothing happens.
Maybe you have the wrong button.
Well, I've pushed everything I can find. Now, the manual says hold reset button for 30 seconds until the pilot stays lit. The pilot. The, water heater.
Mr. Marwell fixes it with a broomstick.
A broomstick?
Mm-hmm.
Fine, let's try a broomstick. Miss Carter, what is it that Mr. Harwell does with the broomstick?
Don't ask me. He just pokes it in there.
Just pokes it in there. Okay.
Listen, I hate to be a complainer, but there's no water upstairs.
Well, there's plenty down here. Oh, great. This is ridiculous. I'm standing here with water dripping on my nose.
What's wrong? It's raindrops falling on your head.
Have you heard wrench falling on your face?
I'll try to be more constructive. Why don't you call a plumber?
And have Pat turn over in his tuxedo? No, thank you.
Oh, you rent number 7?
Yeah, well, sort of.
To who? Whom? Whatever.
To, Mrs. Morris.
That little old lady?
Elderly?
That little old elderly lady?
Yes.
Fine. There are 1.7 girls for every eligible man in America, and you rent to a little old elderly lady.
She's very sweet.
I can see sweet on television. What do you mean you rented it sort of?
Well, I haven't actually gotten a check yet.
You rented it without collecting any money?
Alice, she has to get her Social Security checks. She said she'd have it first thing this morning. Wonder where she is.
Probably on her way to Las Vegas. Sandy, you've been had. That sweet little old lady grabbed a night's free sleep and split.
Alice, you are the most cynical person I've ever met. I bet you didn't even believe in the tooth fairy.
Who?
Never mind.
Well, I'm betting you never see Mrs. Morris again, much less her Social Security check.
Hello down there. Well, Mrs. Morris, come on down. Here, let me help you with that.
Thank you. Oh, it's much heavier than I realized.
Oh, Miss Morris, this is Alice McRaven, a fellow tenant and my best friend.
Hello, dear. Aren't you lucky to have this sweet girl for a friend?
Oh, I count my blessings every day. It's nice to meet you, too, Mrs. Morris.
Wouldn't you know it? I forgot my change purse. Have you a quarter I could borrow from my wallet?
Here, yes, ma'am.
Thank you, dear.
Miss Morris, about the rent.
Oh, it is totally slipped my mind. Have you some soap I could borrow?
Here's some.
Thank you, dear. You're a sweet girl, too.
Not really. The soap belongs to apartment 12. Mrs. Morris, now about the rent.
The rent. I promise. I'll have a check for you first thing this afternoon. Thank you both.
There. Aren't you sorry for what you said about her? She's really very sweet.
She can afford to be. So far, she's had free soap, a free quarter, a free night's sleep, and what you've had is no check. And I'll tell you something else.
What?
Your pipe's leaking again.
Yeah?
Did you get the check?
What check?
No, what check, Sandy? It's 8 o'clock. That's hardly first thing in the afternoon.
I'll get it. Hey, Mrs. Morris, I have to have the check.
Check? Of course, I promised you I'd have it today, and I always keep my promises. The faucet drips in the kitchen. I have very bad reception on my telephone.
Yes, ma'am, I'll take care of it. Thank you.
dear.
It's bound.
What are you going to do now?
Oh, nothing. Nah, I just have to kick a sweet little old lady out into the street.
Is that all?
Come on in. I'm so glad you came to visit. I just love to visit.
Mrs.
Now,
Morris,
come
I
on,
didn't really
sit down. You look tired.
Well, the reason I look
How
tired is I
about
have...
some milk and some cookies?
No, please, I really don't want anything. Mrs. Morris, I came over here to talk to you about your check.
The check? Well, I thought I gave you a check yesterday. Oh,
No, you gave me a check, but... Well, it came back marked insufficient funds.
it bounced?
In a word, yes.
But that's impossible.
I have it right here.
I know exactly what happened. It was that teller at the bank. He had shifty eyes and he kept talking about going to Mexico. That's it. He absconded with my funds. Don't you worry. I'm going right straight down to the bank and I will straighten it out right now.
Well, Mrs. Morris...
Oh, dear, could you lend me $1 for cab fare?
Mrs. Morris, I'm sorry. I mean, there's no other way I can put this. I have to try to rent the apartment.
Oh, don't be silly. I'll have it straightened out tomorrow.
Mrs. Morris, I'm not the manager. I mean, it's not my choice. I have to try to rent the apartment.
Oh, my goodness. I must say, you're not as nice a girl as I thought you were.
Well, Mr. Randolph, what do you think?
It's perfect. It's just what I was looking for.
Good.
Where do I sign?
Right here. There.
Yep.
But I'll need a check for the first month's rent.
Check? Do I have to give you a check?
Well, yes, sir. I'm sorry. That's the rule.
Well, I intended to pay cash.
I'll take it. Fine.
What's the matter?
Nothing. No, I'm sorry. Okay. Sign. It's all yours.
Well, what's all this?
Mrs. Morris, I'm afraid I had to rent the apartment to this gentleman.
My apartment?
Now, Mrs. Morris, it's not exactly your apartment. Exactly.
Rubbish, of course it is. I told you it was all a mistake at the bank, and I have a letter from the manager to prove it. And the money for the first month's rent I got cash because you were so suspicious.
Great. Sandy, you know that pipe in the laundry room, the one you thought you fixed?
Don't tell me.
I won't, but you better hurry.
Now pull it tight. I am pulling it tight, Alice. I can't do this. I need a plumber.
Your life. Oh, here's where you're hiding.
Oh, Mrs. Carter, not right now. Alice, could you just go and turn off the water, please?
Look, I have a petition here signed by all the upstairs tenants. We demand equal service with the downstairs tenants.
What do you mean equal? You had your garbage disposer fixed. But what about my doors? They all squeak. Where?
What?
Where am I running to? Where do I turn off the water?
Oh, Alice, I don't know. It's out in there somewhere.
Don't change the subject. The downstairs people are just jealous because we have the view. What view? You haven't got any view.
He'll tell us exactly
Please, Miss Thompson, will you please tell this man to give me back my goldfish?
This does not belong in my apartment. And will you please tell this old crow to give me my cane back?
Mr. Renoff, I'm sitting down with the pipes and the dripping and...
We're the undersigned, living on the second floor. Never mind the second floor. Where do I turn here by tonight? All the tenants
I want this man out of my room.
I'm probably the first man was ever in your room. In my room.
What about my door? Could you be quiet? Could you be quiet, please? Could you...
Now look here.
Shut up! Okay, now, would everybody please just listen to me? Including you. Now, I know that I volunteered for this job, so I guess that makes me responsible. But it doesn't mean that I should be taken advantage of. Now, Mrs. Carter, I think it should be obvious to you that I haven't really had the time to favor the first floor. Now, if you have any more complaints, I think they could wait till Mr. Harwell gets back. If not, would you please call a repairman, and Mr. Harwell will be glad to pay for it.
Oh, what you said.
Alice, I don't care. I really don't care. I am tired of trying to fix things when I don't know how to fix them. And you, Mr. Randolph and Mrs. Morris, you cannot both stay in the same apartment. One of you must be out of there by 6 o'clock. Or 7 o'clock at the latest. And as for you, he stays. He stays because he's the only one that hasn't complained.
Golly, do you mean it?
Yes, I do. And if Mr. Harwell doesn't like it, he could just throw me out, too.
Sir?
What?
Don't shout at me. I have a headache, and I'd like to be excused.
Could you turn off? Could you fix the pipe, please? You see, you're being punished.
$68 electrician's bill.
Pat, I'm sorry.
And the plumbing bill for $130.
I know, but they had to be fixed.
I know that, honey. I've known that for weeks. But it still comes as a shock to my bank account.
Sorry.
All right. But the rule says no dogs. You hear that, dogs? No dogs.
Hi.
Hello. Miss Stockton, we've come to a decision. Emily gets the apartment.
We wanted you to know because you really made us sit down and talk to each other. And Harold is such a gentleman. He insisted that I stay.
But I reserve the right to call on this young lady.
Anytime.
And I've changed my mind again. You really are a very nice young lady.
Emily, goodbye.
Bye. Pat, I really wish you'd reconsider it.
I have reconsidered. The dog stays.
never guess what happened.
You got a job.